Hey guys, we miss you. It's been a crazy year, 2020.
This has been, if nothing else, an extraordinarily challenging year. We all know that our volunteers are the heart of this organization, and I am personally deeply grateful to everyone who braved everything this year to come help us fulfill our mission.
We really lucked out with all of our hires this year. People were willing to give it their all, put themselves on the line, and also have a good time doing it.
We couldn't do the work we do without each and every one of you supporting us. Not only have we been responding to the need in COVID, we've also been growing the organization and extending our roots.
I can't even keep track of where we are in terms of how much we've moved, but we're over 7 million pounds.
We wouldn't be able to do this work without this amazing team. We are so deeply grateful to them, to you, to our donors and our supporters for helping us get through what a challenging year it's been.
So special thanks to each and every one of you.
This was my 4th season with the Gleaners.
I discovered the Gleaners shortly after moving to town in the spring of 2020.
I've been gleaning for about 2 years now.
I started gleaning late summer of last year.
I've been gleaning for about 3 years.
I've been doing it for, since I think there were 2 employees.
I learned about gleaning in a New York Times article and looked for a local organization because it seemed like a small but direct way that I could help with food insecurity that people are experiencing during the pandemic.
I glean because food insecurity is at an all-time high.
Doing a little bit to help out alleviate food insecurity here in Eastern Massachusetts.
I think it's tragic how much food gets wasted, and I want to do my part to help get that food to the people who really need it.
I was enormously pleased in 2020 to see the Gleaners pivot to address demand in challenging conditions. Despite the decrease in field time, I enjoyed meeting the many new Gleaners and time spent with those I already knew.
They're my lifeline this year.
Your work is good for the farmers, it's good for the food recipients.
And I have learned so much about how vegetables grow.
Get acquainted with some cool farms in the area, met some really cool people.
I just wanted to give a shout out to you guys. You made gleaning a really positive experience for us volunteers. I also wanted to give a shout out to Eileen, a volunteer that I've been able to glean with a few times. Great conversation, great energy, and I hope we can get out there again soon.
The volunteers, there's just something about them. Each person that I've met that's a volunteer, I have adored.
Gleaning hits all the right notes for me. I feel happy at the end of the day.
Reducing agriculture's carbon footprint.
There are few things more satisfying than spending 3 hours filling up a banana box with fresh produce.
And also for the personal honor and glory.
It gives me purpose, satisfaction, and sometimes during harvesting a lot of mud to wash off, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Digging radishes out of the mud in the rain, it's all good. There's no downside.
I was beyond thrilled to get the chance to harvest for the first time my all-time favorite green veggie, Brussels sprouts.
Rotten potatoes. That's a downside.
You want to work on your arms. Glean squash.
Apples and tomatoes, kale, wax beans, blueberries.
The arm curl, a little curl with the squash is really very effective.
Maybe one day I will rise to this #1 gleaner position. Watch out, Ken and Sally, I'm right behind you.
It's just an incredible group that comes to bag.
Yes, hope to continue for many years to come.
Hi, I'm Stephen Finley. I am a troop leader for the Boston area Gleaners.
I'm Court. I'm the Education and Training Manager at BAG.
We're going to be introducing you to the top 10 volunteers this year. These are the 10 volunteers that have been on the most gleans with us this season. So we're super thankful for all the hard work you put in and for all the hard work that everyone's put in, really. And so without further ado, here they are. We have Helen with 13 gleans this year. Helen's always great to have around because she's just the quiet, nose to the grindstone work attitude, and you can tell that she's just really driven to just accomplish whatever we're working on that day. So always appreciate having her on trips.
Judy Nathans is a longtime volunteer of ours. She gleaned 14 times this season. I love to catch her in the auditorium at a repack, and every time I do, she has a great new movie recommendation for me.
At 15 gleans, we have Valerie Pope. She's always lovely to have around. I think another one of those quiet spoken, just flies herself, and just a really great hard worker. Always glad to have you on our trips, Valerie. I'm sure Alex feels the same way too.
Rosalind is another longtime volunteer of ours. This season she gleaned 15 times, but she has volunteered with us over 100 times since she found BAG. This season we gleaned some blueberries together and she has joined us for mini repacks. Leslie started volunteering with us last season, and this year she was able to make it into the field and on repacks 16 times. She works hard and fast and forms relationships with other volunteers really quickly, and she's a great asset to any trip.
Then we have Gail Richardson with 16 gleans this year. I was really glad to have Gail join our team. She came out with BAG for the first time this year and she really hit the ground running, and she always brings a great energy and enthusiasm to all of our trips.
Ellie was a new volunteer this season. She was brought onto our BAG family by Ellen Kisslinger, and she's been out 17 times in her first season, so she's totally crushing it. And we are so excited to have her as a new volunteer this year. Janet has gleaned with us for many years. This season she came out 18 times. She is a true gleaner at heart and is always gleaning the glean and finding treasure in the compost.
Tied for first place Gleaner Volunteer of the Year, we have Laura Angati. Laura, you're always a pleasure to have on our trips. You're almost like a second or third trip leader on some of our trips, the way you're able to wrap your mind around everything that needs to get done and lend a hand where it's needed without even being asked. So always appreciate your intuition on those trips. And also tied for first is Greg Voss with also 23 gleans this year. Greg, it's always amazing to have you out there, whether you're biking or in this cold weather, not putting your legs at risk there, but you're always so cheerful to be around. You can't overstate how hard you work on all of the trips you come on, and I know everyone always has a smile on their face when you're joining the trip and in the room. So thanks, Greg, and thank you all, and I hope you guys keep coming out and doing the hard work with us. Thank you.